Hello there, I'm Sean Greasley and welcome to Volume 7 of the Visual Basic tutorial series. In this tutorial we will be discussing variables and a little bit of arithmetic as well. Okay, what is going to happen is the user is going to enter one number, then a mathematical operator, then a second number. When the button is pushed underneath, the total will be displayed in the label at the bottom here. Let's make this nice and big so we can see it. Change the auto size to true, make the font a little bigger. Apologise, there we go. Let's have something like Verdana, bold, size 18. Okay, right, so this should hopefully display the answer. It is actually there, it may look invisible, but it's because it has no value inside. Okay then, so what the user will do, he or she will enter a first number, so let's call this txt first. Let's call this one txt op for operator, and the third number the second number, txt second, well, it's the third text box. Okay, so we have txt first, txt op, txt second, and this will be LBL display, kind of like a little calculator if you like. Okay, so what we're doing here is we need to input some kind of values from the users, and we're going to store those into variables directly. Okay, this is how you define a variable within Visual Basic. You first type dim, that means define the variable you want, say first number, as the type you want. There is a whole list here, but for this example we'd like integer. As you can see, you can press tab, it will automatically choose that from your list if it's highlighted. What integer is, it's a series of numbers between minus 32,000 range to plus 32,000 range. If the user enters a number outside that range, then it may not function correctly. If we dim it as long, this is a series between about minus 2 million, something like that, but we are in the millions and it has more functionality, but the downside is it uses a lot more memory. If you think about it, it's a lot of more numbers to handle and allocate into the RAM. Okay, for this example we'll use integer. Okay, we now want operator. Remember, operators are only one character long. Oh, sorry. But we can store that as a string. I'm thinking of C++ now. The string command is really hard to initiate and function, but we're in Visual Basic now, we can use that directly as a string. And we might as well copy the first statement here. Okay, so we've defined our three variables: first number, our operator, let's capitalize that, and our second number. The great thing about Visual Basic is that if we typed this in lowercase, it is the same thing. It's not like C++ at all. So if we typed first number like that, it is actually the same as that, and as you can see it's auto-corrected its casing for you. So don't worry about casing, it doesn't matter within Visual Basic. So now we've defined all our variables as the appropriate types. We're now going to use these. So when the user clicks the display button, we want to say that the variable first number takes the value of the text box, which is txt first.text, yes. The operator, takes the value using the equals sign as second txt second, and the second number takes the value of txt second.text. So we have now put data values into our variables we have just created, and we can now perform a little arithmetic with them. Okay then, so we now have the first number that operates the second number. We now need to display our arithmetic using the label here, LBL display. So let's have a look. LBL display. With labels we don't use .text, we use .caption instead. I have no idea why, it just makes it harder to understand, but that's the way Visual Basic is, I'm afraid. So this is what we're doing. First number first, so we want to display the first number. That's correct, yes. Then we want to multiply it with the, or sorry, not multiply, we want to use the operator. Then we want to display the second number, so we want to display the sum of these. You may be thinking, how are we going to do this? Are we going to say first number, if it's multiplied, times by second number? Will that work? The answer is no, it won't. The thing we're going to have to do this is an if statement. So if we say if the operator is equal to multiply, then we can display the first number multiplied by the second number. Else if the operator is take away, then we simply change that to take away. You can then copy these down as they are pretty much the same. Divide, plus, and divide, and end the if statement. Oh, and there we go. So hopefully this should now function quite correctly. Let's say 5 times 6. Okay, we seem to having a little technical problem with this. Let's see if we can fix it. Ah, there we go. As you can see, I've used txt second where I should have used op. So the operator is not actually receiving the operator, it's receiving the second text value. Okay, let's try this again. 5 multiplied by 5, 25. 5 divided by 5, 1. 5 take away 5, 0. 5 add 5, 10. As you can see, it all works correctly. This has been how to use variables within Visual Basic. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the other tutorials. Goodbye.